that's fine. Yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated with the fact that you're using emotions to help your clients to get from point A to point Z, because not only because I love working with emotions, but because also there is that recent research that I came across, which says that whenever you're trying to change something in your head, yeah, and you're working from the point of your heart, meaning from the center of your emotional processing, then you will be more successful, almost every time successful. So the rate is almost every time, like 90, 96. But if you're trying to change your emotional processing from your cognition, it's sometimes even less than 50% of successful rate. So that is quite stunning finding, isn't it, in research, in psychology, to find that working with emotions can be that successful. You can reprogram your emotions and your brain, the way you're thinking, even your memories, if you're working with EFT. So that fascinates me a lot, and I just wanted to say how much.
No, it's absolutely fascinating, because like you say, it's like a specific example I could give you of what I was just relating to there was somebody may have had an unpleasant memory in the past, and I will preface it with, when we're going to process that, okay, we're going to run a movie of that thing that happened. It's not you right here, right now. It's a movie of what happened. Then I'm going to need you to talk to me a little bit about it, but we're going to go to the movie theatre first. What does that look like? And then they describe the movie theatre to me, and you might be thinking, what on earth has that got to do with, processing an unpleasant memory, for example? Well, when you put them in a place of safety, because often, unless there's been a horrific incident happen at a movie theatre, they often were nostalgic places of laughter, warmth, and, good memories, so to speak, so you'd always check that kind of thing out with your client first, and you ask them to choose, we could go to a drive-in movie, or we could go to a movie theatre, or we could even go to a musical theatre, and it's like a play that's playing out, but I just need you to tell me about that part of the play. So they're externalizing it. It's no longer like right in here, right now with them, reliving it type of thing. So this is what we tap while we do it. So we're kind of, I'm kind of like just relaying one example of many tools that we could use to process something that's particularly difficult to talk about for somebody, by using a pleasant, background of something like going to a movie theatre or going to a musical. But instead we're going to process it with the lenses of, actually, there was this one time where that thing happened, but it no longer feels as raw. They're not living in that moment while they're retelling you, because it's already down the road at the movie theatre, or in the next state, or it might be in London if you're in Manchester, or on in Manchester and you're in London. Yeah, it's on in Manchester. We're going to go up to Manchester and see it, and we work slowly towards it, if that makes sense.
No, it makes. And I love the fact that you're also using some somatic wisdom, which is acupressure points, because you've mentioned tapping. For those of you who don't know, tapping is using acupressure points in your body, and in EFT, it's probably around your face, maybe neck, maybe hands, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And that is working holistically with your body, because trauma, including emotional trauma or emotional addictions, they can be also stuck on your cell level. So that is very powerful, isn't it?
It really is powerful. It really is. And I mean, I'm not embarrassed to tell you, you and your viewers here, back in 2014, I suffered with anxiety for like the first time in my adult life, like where I could distinctly say that it was anxiety and not, a bit of nervousness or a bit of stress, etc. And I wanted a natural non-medicinal way. I was a public servant at the time. I was a little bit worried, and I didn't want it on my record, all those kind of things that might play on somebody's mind, the usual concerns. And so somebody recommended EFT to me, and when somebody did it with me about my anxiety, I was absolutely in awe of it. And obviously this is how I ended up training in it almost immediately after, because I was like, whoa, I need to learn how to do this so I can share it with more people. And subhanallah, it was a really beneficial experience for me, and continues to be a beneficial experience, obviously, for the ladies that I see. So,
and you do see clients, and you have very successful practice. I know you do, because I've met you before. And what I think what stood out for me the most is that you can actually achieve all those great results, not only with EFT, but also with your sort of, I don't know how to call it, inner intuition. And normally what it is for your clients is to calm themselves down first, isn't it? Before you go into biggies. So you enabling them to find that internal peace, sakina. And that is only possible if they shut down everything that's going on around them, this chaos, as we call it. So what is it that works for majority of your clients if we're talking about, stopping being overwhelmed, stop being so anxious about stuff around us? What works for them?
Well, like you say, like even some people don't even know that they're overwhelmed. They can't even put the finger on what that is. It's like life's so fast, right? The lives that we're required to live. How you're reading about something interesting, and you'll love this, I think. I know you as well as I think you do. I was reading about convalescence.
All right.
Recently, and I was like, wow, I was like, what a concept that is. And I was reading about it in relation to the amount of time that you were afforded after having an illness of some sort to convalesce and get better. And we don't get that anymore. This is like probably about 150-year-old practice and predates that, obviously, where people were sent into the countryside after they'd had a significant illness, could be for months, and they come back when they're ready. And I'm like, wow, could you imagine society like that now?
Yeah.
There'd be nobody in the cities.
why we don't know that, isn't it? It's sort of wiped out from medical history of the world, isn't it?
And it was absolutely necessary, which is the ironic thing. However, we're not afforded that these days, so we have to find means and ways to contend with our often rushed and chaotic lifestyles. So I love sharing just a basic tapping sequence for self-calming every day that can be used by anybody, anywhere. It can be in the car, the bathroom, in the office, at work. You can literally stand on a stairwell somewhere in a public building or a shopping centre if that's what you need to do, as long as you're not too self-conscious about it at all, because you'd be tapping on your face. But you could even pick just a point and be on your phone, and people don't know what you're doing. You could just be like tapping your eyebrow. They wouldn't even be passing you long enough to notice you've probably done it more than once. Would you like me to show you right now?
I mean, any takeaways from our session? Yes, absolutely. Bismillah.
Okay, so first of all, I would ask everybody to ask themselves before they start doing this, am I feeling red, amber, or green? It's dead easy, this. You can even teach this to your kids, and it's a great one for teenagers who are going through a stressful situation at school, either with friends or exams and all this kind of stuff, or primary school. There's no, lower age limit for this. So you tap with your fingertips on either hand, whichever you're most comfortable with, along the side here. So where your little finger joins onto the palm of your hand, we're tapping there.
Yeah.
So if you would ask yourself, do I feel red, amber, or green? And the answer to that is, it's a red or an amber, even if I don't know what it is that's bothering me or why I feel like I do. Just start tapping the side of your hand like this, probably for about 10-15 seconds. And then we tap just here where the nose comes up to meet the arch of your eyebrow, just on the inside of the eye socket. Doesn't have to be hard, just make contact. And then the next point is here at the side of the eyes. You can see me. And then it's on the top of the cheekbones, on the bottom of the eye socket is the next place. Then the next place is under the nose. And the next place is where the line is on the chin. So not the bottom lip, a bit lower than that. And the next point is where your collarbones come in to meet in the middle. If you go about half an inch underneath there, just try and make contact on both sides there. Take a nice deep breath while you're doing that. And then underneath the arm here, as if you were reaching around to your back, we just pat that with our whole hand. And then we come back round, and that's known as one round of EFT. If you hear me talking about rounds, I'm talking about one round of EFT or 2 rounds. After that first round, we take 3 deep breaths, nice and slow, in through the nose, and then we blow out through the mouth like we're blowing through a straw, nice and slow. So and then we do a round 2.
Right.
You get to concentrate on your breath a little bit more in round 2. So remember, if your brain's telling you to breathe in as big as you can. Your body probably most likely needs the oxygen. We shallow breathe a lot, and that often causes issues, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
The way that we're feeling physiologically and emotionally. And we often forget to give our body the oxygen it needs.
100%.
What this is actually doing, you would do this silently. It immediately reduces the cortisol levels in the body by up to 43%. So if people are living, whether they know it or not, in fight, freeze, or flight, high alert, hypervigilance, things like this, doing these rounds of even silent tapping every day will help the blood get back to where it needs to be in those essential organs, instead of sticking in the limbs like we need to run from a bear that's not there, if you like. Nice deep breaths. It looks and feels amazingly simple, and it is just that.
Yeah, and I'm already relaxed. Like, yeah, I'm ready to go to sleep, but I won't, I promise.
Then we take 3 more deep breaths after round 2.
Yeah. So that's very quick, isn't it? That helps you to calibrate yourself, isn't it? To come from outside to inside, isn't it?
Yeah, so I would recommend 3 short rounds of that, followed by 3 deep breaths in between, and then ask yourself at the end, now do I feel red, amber, or green? And if you're still amber or red, obviously do another 3. But most of the time, most people are down at green there. And some people do it 2 or 3 times a day. Some people just do it once a day at Fajr time. Some people do it at Isha time, or just before they're falling asleep, to help the body relax, so they can say, right, I'm putting all this stuff to bed and I'm going to bed, because people's minds work so chaotically, don't they? Lie down and 1,000 things pop in there, right? And it's like, I really wish I was saying, oh Allah, for you I live and I die. Or really you're thinking, I've got this tomorrow, and I've got that tomorrow, and I've got that, and don't forget this, and don't.
Such a beautiful tool. Thank you so much. Really, it's a great great tool, holistic tool to take and run with through your anxieties or feeling overwhelmed. I cannot say thank you enough.